Karahala, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bracket Yahweh, Bracket Yahweh Shai, Bracket Yahweh, Bracket Yahweh Shai, Bracket Yahweh, Bracket Yahweh Shai, the water above the ball, God Kadash. I'd like to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach this truth, the 100% truth, according to the Bible. Brother Malakama, we're doing a lesson today. It's called, or the title is going to be, They Have Destroyed the Family. And I'm going to give some quick statistics real quick on how they've destroyed the family dynamic. Just 18% of U.S. households are nuclear families. And nuclear means like an intact family with the father, the wife, and the kids, the siblings. Just 18% of the households are nuclear families with a married couple and children, down from 40% since 1970, which is still very high, percentage to be without a family. Since the 1970s, the lowest since 1959, the number of homes in America with traditional nuclear families of a married couple with a couple children is now the lowest it has ever been since 1959, according to census data. So we're all the way down to 18%, and they're projecting that to get even worse. Because you have these women that have that feminist mindset that they don't need a man or they can do without a man. Then they have a system, the government, that rewards this type of behavior, to have a woman that has children out of wedlock or bastard children, and those things are abomination to the Lord, man. A woman is supposed to only have one man throughout her whole life, unless something happened to a man as he passed on, or some type of unless that man passed, he dies, or he decides to put her away. And if he put her away, she's still, I forget how the law goes, but is very stringent upon that. She's not supposed to be with multiple men. Now you have women now that are bragging on the internet about their body count. I think it's one video woman, she was talking about, I wish I had saved it, where she had 7 kids, 7 baby daddies, and how she lives off the system with $3,000 worth of food stamps and how she can cash them in and all that. And she's still projecting to have more, but you have a system that incentivizes that type of behavior, man, that type of degeneracy amongst the daughters of Israel, man. And the scripture tells us, let there be no daughter, that there be no whores in the daughters of Israel. And here's another thing I wanted to pull up. It goes back to the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers are one of the kings of the earth, families of the kings of the earth. And they make a lot of the policy and things that goes on, mainly here in Babylon the Great, but throughout the whole earth, man. They have that power. But they do it behind closed doors. They give you a president who's really just somebody who's running their corporation. But he does the bidding of these kings of the earth. The Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, and these elites of the earth right now. We, the Rockefeller Foundation, supported and founded the women's liberation movement. Why do you think we did it? There were 2 primary reasons for this. One was that before women's rights to work, we could only tax half the population. The other was so that with women going out of work, it would break up the families. Women would have to spend all day at work away from the family. The children would begin to see the state of their teachers and family, and this would make it easier to indoctrinate or to control them, to make them slaves, basically what he's saying. And they took our families, they made our families indoctrinate, merged us into the system and indoctrinated our kids, man. And the reason they do that too, because they could, like I say, they can easily make slaves of you. That way they can pretty much program your children however they want it to be. And now you see that the state of our children at the end of the day, man. And it's only going to get worse as long as these devils are in rulership, because they seek to destroy you. Mainly you so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you Israelites, man. But these devils are so wicked, they even sacrifice their own people instead too. So, they don't care about their own people, their own Edomites. So you damn sure know they don't give a damn about you Israelites, man. Especially if there's a new AI technology and they feel that they don't need you anymore, that they can have programmable robots that can work 24/7 with no health care, no benefits, no nothing. So you Jakes are definitely dispensable, man. And you Edomites as well. Psalm chapter 83, verse 3, and we're going to read on down through 5. This is our first precept. They have taken crafty counsel against thy, Slakia. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted together against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. So these are things that they do behind closed doors, man. With these politicians, they'll give you these things to occupy your mind, to distract you, which you got a lot of distractions going on right now. But whole time behind the door, they're making policy to destroy you, man. That's taking away more and more of your rights. And one of the main things is making you a perpetual slave, man, where you have no rights to say or do anything. You're at the will of the government, and therefore, it's a tyrannical government that's going to be over you. But and one way of doing that is by breaking up the family, and mainly you Israelite families. They sought to separate you from your heritage. And one way to start to separate you from your heritage goes back to the time of slavery. When they came over here, they did it to Gad and Reuben, to the natives, Indian tribes that were over here. They broke up their families. They took their kids from them, put them in indoctrination schools, and pretty much decimated the family, man. And especially you Jakes, man, you Southern Kingdom tribes, you tribe of Judah, Benjamin and Levi. Those of you that were over here, they broke up the families, they sold you in auctions. Once a child was born, they sent him off to another plantation. And therefore, they could separate that lineage, man, separate you from your power. And it goes on today through the welfare system. They put that in play, being that the man couldn't be in the home in order to receive benefit. Eve fell for it. She listened to the devil. He the same one that taught her feminism. She sends her off to colleges and teach her that she can be so much better in the society if she just sacrificed her plans of having a family, And Eve, a lot of Eves fell for it. They still falling for it today. A lot of Eves now don't have kids, man. Or if they do have kids, they're sacrificing their kids because they're not putting time in their kids, but they're focusing on their careers, and their kids will be raised by the government. All part of the plan. And I was watching the beloved Elder Apostle Gabar video, and he was kind of going into about the family as well, the family dynamic, and how this place is so wicked. And it's destroying our people. It's destroying everyone here as a whole, man. This place is nothing but death, nothing but sin, which leads to death. And, you can tell in the music is no more, there's no love music, no more family music that's going out, things that's going to bind and bring people together. But music that's being produced only to divide, if you can even call it music nowadays, man. It's so wicked, And they understand this. Esau Edom understands the rhythm of certain parts of rhythm that they can use to pretty much put a spell on people as part of their witchcraft, man. That they put on mainly on you Jakes. And a lot of the images that they give you, they project these images upon you Jakes, man, that you're supposed to be degenerates, you're supposed to be gangsters and killers, and the women are supposed to be nothing but thoughts and whores and sluts, out here selling their bodies to the highest bidder, man. And that's why we have a society, and this generation is going to be that generation, man, that the Lord said is fit for destruction. And you can tell by the movies, man. Sitcoms, like the sitcoms now, these Tyler Perry movies, Jake is always in a degenerate state. That's what they keep projecting to you. They're showing you who you are. It's just an image of what they done gave you now. And you go back to movies like Family Guy, Simpson, Love and Marriage, Everybody Hates Chris, Urkel, Living Single, Martin. And these movies always put the Jake, man, as some type of buffoon, man, or some type of buffoonery. Nobody to be taken serious, and that's the image they portray. They always portray the women as being the head of the household, the smart one, and the kids as really being head of the women, because the kids look at the parents like they both buffoons, and they're much smarter than the parents and more wisdom. So they try to give this power to the kids to be, to be over the parents, you know, and that way they can. And it's crazy how they work it because they use that to make an argument for their which they're trying to bring into where this pedophilia thing where they can have kids can choose to be in an adult relationship, you know. And so they try to justify those means, man, where they got they try to justify those means, man, where they got these kids making those type of decisions. So we have to be very mindful, man, of the play of the devil, man. But then you go back to the earlier, I remember coming up, because, you know, a little older, and I remember in the 70s, man, you had sitcoms or movies, and this is where it started going downhill, but during that time you had Good Times. You had James Evans, he was head of the household, you know, he was the father of the household, he laid down the rule, even though they was living, you know, in a ghetto condition. But they still had stability with the family. You know, he was there to protect the family. He went out and worked. He provided for his family. That's how it's supposed to be. Then you had the Jeffersons. You know, George Jefferson. You know, he's head of that family. Then the other sitcoms. You know, Father Knows Best. I remember those coming up. And you can tell by the title, Father Knows Best. Leave It to Beaver, which was another good sitcom where the father was head of the household, or the Brady Bunch. But like I said, you go back to these ones now, and then, you know, it started changing in the 90s, like I said, movies like sitcoms like Urkel, Living Single. You know, that tells you exactly what that's all about. You know, a bunch of damn feminist women living with some dudes, man. That's effeminate, pretty much. So they kind of flip the roles on our people, man. That's why they're raising these kids now for the young men to be effeminate, all in their feelings, you know, and, you know, easily be misled to go out here and drill, rap, and kill one another. And then the women to be sluts and whores or feminists. Let me pull up a couple of videos that I did on TikTok to help edify this lesson. If it lets me do it, man. You know how this shit works sometimes. I don't think it's gonna let me do it. Okay, it did.
There never had been one in the whole of the country.
Beautiful woman there, man.
And I risk my job by saying I won't do it unless you give me a husband for my children.
Hi guys, can we ask your stance on...
I introduced the black father to this country. There never had been one in the whole of the country. And I risk my job by saying I won't do it unless you give me a husband for my children.
But then again, you know, how Hollywood's worked, so they had to break that dynamic up, you know, and this eventually would happen on that show. And I remember when they made this transition.
The differences we had on that show, and we had a number of differences, as evidenced by my early departure from the show, was I felt that with two other younger children, one of whom who aspired to become a Supreme Court justice, that would be Ralph Carter or Michael, and the other, Bernadette Stennis, I think, she aspired to become a surgeon. And the differences I had with the producers of the show was that I felt too much emphasis was being put on JJ and his chicken hat and saying dynamite every third page, when just as much emphasis and mileage could have been gotten out of my other two children and the concomitant jokes and you know, humor that could have come out of that. But I wasn't the most diplomatic guy, like I said, in those days, and they got tired of having their lives threatened over jokes. So they said, tell you what, why don't we kill him off and we'll all get on with our lives. Life's too short. So that taught me a lesson.
And like I said, he played a very strong father figure in that movie that kind of kept his family together, even though they was living inside, supposed to be in Chicago in one of the housing projects there. I think it's Cabrini Green, if I'm wrong, if I'm correct. But he played a very strong figure, so they had to pretty much eliminate him out of the show because they tried to make the show more of a buffoonery, you know. So, you know, and that's the beginning of the end of having a strong family father in the household. But very good show, man. Very good show back during that time. Got another video too, a couple of more videos too I want to pull up.
Ayana, you know why I summoned you here. Our people suffer at the hands of those white men. They take our freedom and lay waste to our lands.
Not all of them are enemies. I've seen kindness in some. They teach me their language, offer us tools to better our lives.
Turtles are chains in disguise. They are not like us. Their hearts beat with the rhythm of conquest, not harmony. Together, sister, we can find a way to lift our people without losing ourselves. Stand with us, with family.
What if we can learn from them just enough to make our tribe stronger, more resilient? I want to help. I just need to be sure it's the right path.
Her strength lies in unity, Ayana. They divide us with false promises. We must stand as one, protect our own. Ayana, you know why I summoned you here.
And that's why women is not supposed to be in a leadership position, because, you know, a woman to be in the weaker vessels, they're going to always go to her first. That's why you find now in this government, they put the women head over the man. You know, they put the women in these judgeship as judges now. A lot of these top judges are women. Black women, the nigger women, and they do that because they control them more easier, man, and they understand that. And don't get me wrong, you got a lot of men jakes too that will sell out, but they know they can easily get more through the women by putting the women head over the man. It's like putting the cart before the mule, man. That shit ain't gonna work, you know, and it helps destroy our society. Any of these democratic government where women are mayors in those counties, in those cities, man, they all fucking destroyed, man. It's just like, wow, man. It's like all type of failure that's going on under these women's rulership in these mayor democratic places where they putting them as head of these governments. Here's another video. Pretty good video there, because it goes to show you that it goes back to the time of Genesis, you know, and in Genesis, like, it's speaking in parabolic form, you know. Eve being deceived by the serpent. The serpent is basically talking about Esau, Edom, or these other nations, man, being deceived into following after their philosophies, you know. And one of the philosophies Eve still following after today is being a feminist, thinking that she can be over her man, you know, that she can be far better than her Israelite man, and that she can run and do the same thing that her man's supposed to do. But the Lord didn't put her in position for that. He didn't build her to be that way. He built her, you know, to be mostly tied into her emotions, man. But yeah, that's a very good video there. It just kind of gives you a breakdown. It's not talking about a literal snake, man. It's talking about the philosophy of these other nations, mainly Esau, Edom, which definitely works, still going strong today, man, on our women. And I had a dream also, that's kind of inspired me to do this video too. I had a dream or a vision this morning, you know, about my brother and a couple of my brothers that have passed, family members that were close, young men that have passed, man, and didn't get a chance to have families or see their families. And I was imagining, man, what it's going to be like in society, in our kingdom, when we're going to have them back. They're going to have their intact families. You know, we're supposed to grow old together. You know, what we're supposed to have done in this society, but, you know, that's got sidetracked by the devil, man. They brought a lot of things in to break up the family, to help destroy these young black youth jakes, man. And like I said, I lost a couple of my brothers and early on, and think about the families that they could have had they not got caught in those traps by Esau, Edom. You know, us having our families together in a righteous society, man, and watching our kids grow together and our families getting together, and we meeting at this age that I am now, and what the dynamics supposed to have been. But right now it shows that we still in our captivity, man. It's not even worth having a woman here, because that woman is still a slave of Esau, Edom. You know, he still controls our women, especially the nigger women, man. So, you know, if you can be without a woman, you know, pray that the Lord can guide you through that you don't get, taken away by your burning desires. Because having women almost in the society is like bringing on more hardship and something that could take you further away from this truth. And finish up with this one last video, man. It's kind of showing how our family's going to be once we go into the kingdom. And that's why we look forward to this shit coming to an end, man. We have that vision because the Lord has given us that vision to be able to see this. But 2/3 Jakes, man, they can't envision this shit. The only thing they can see is their captivity. So I'm just going to pull this up real quick, and Lord will, it's edifying. That's what we look forward to, man. It's the Lord will, man. Ball, man. That Lord soon come. And with that, say shalom.